Good morning, all you Uber Dubers. Right, this video I'm doing a week after the EU referendum, and so what has changed for Uber drivers? Probably nothing, actually. Still the same old thing. But I like to just indulge just a bit more into the EU aspect of things, and it's mainly because the customers also talk about it, in our cars and everything. Obviously, you probably know I did vote for Remain, and it's mainly because you get to see the whole aspect of how this UK economy works, being in the taxi trade. We see how the late night restaurants, hotel industry, the amount of people we're taking from them, sort of taking them home and everything. The hospitality industry, the NHS, that's full of immigrants. The word I don't really like to use, but that's the phrase that's been branded around everywhere. The care industry, that's full of immigrants, which we see a lot of, and them sort of things gives us a lot of jobs to keep the Uber drivers on the road all the time. And it's something I'm not very happy about UK leaving the actual EU. Couple of days ago I picked up this Polish girl. She works in one of the hotels, and she wasn't in tears or anything, but you could tell she was really downhearted to how she actually felt what's happened. I did get involved talking to her a bit, and what she was basically saying was, firstly, she was very sad, but more importantly, she felt a bit betrayed by what's happened. And what I mean by that is, even before the actual vote, she was talking to fellow workers and everything, and and most of the people were giving the impression that everything's going to be okay, and we're all voting Remain. And in turn, obviously, more than 50% voted for Leave. So she's thinking, well, half the people I spoke to are probably just lying to me and everything. So that's just a personal experience from taking a immigrant worker to her job, and how things are more on the international scene. Obviously with you, but you probably know we do carry a lot of people who come from Europe, from all around the world. And I'll tell you what their reaction is. They are just thinking, you guys are plain stupid coming out of Europe. That's the a business point of view from people we take in our cabs who have just arrived from Europe, the rest of the world. They're just laughing, thinking, what have these guys actually done here? So that's just a bit about the aftermath of the EU referendum. So back to our Uberland. What has been happening? Well, you probably got this week's newsletter, and he starts off by saying, how EU and EU is causing the uncertainty of jobs for Uber. But one thing he goes down to say is, if you read the paragraph, and I'll probably need your help actually because I can't understand this. It says, we are committed to continuing to create economic opportunities for partner drivers. Okay, let me just repeat that. We are committed to continuing to create economic opportunities for partner drivers. What does that mean? I just have not got a clue. I've thought about it, and I just can't get my head around, these people who write these emails. We are committed to continuing to create economic opportunities for partner drivers. I still can't get my head around what that means. You know, so anyway, you know, you probably got your own idea. I haven't. Now, okay, let's move to the other segment of the newsletter. It talks about how to deal with arrogant how to deal with difficult customers. You know, you could read the things they say. I mean, it's not easy. You know, if someone wants to talk about something, someone wants to, you know, tell you something, or you know, I mean, and or being difficult. You know, as a cabbie, I think it's all down to how you, as a cab driver, deal with that situation. I do not believe that someone could write something down and tell you this is how you deal with difficult customers, and it just works out perfect. So, you know, I'll leave you guys to deal with difficult customers and how you deal with it, rather than me trying to tell you how I deal with it. It'll just be completely different anyway. Okay, the next side of the newsletter, trams has come to Birmingham. I mean, you probably all know that anyway. So, and if you press the link to the Birmingham City Council's website, it tells you how to drive on tram lines. Okay, and what I could gather from, in a nutshell, what I could gather from reading that, firstly, you are not allowed to race trams. So if you're in a mood of thinking, well, let's go out and race a tram, you know, you're not allowed to do that. You know, you're not allowed to overtake trams. That's probably the same thing as racing them, I suppose. And the other thing, most importantly, if you see a tram that's coming towards you and you're on the tram line heading to them, they're saying, you know, shift over, because the trams is very unlikely to shift over because of you, so you might as well shift over. So that's what I could gather from reading that website. You know, anyway, you know, my side of things, quickly show you the rating. 4.84. It was my 5th week actually of getting the MVP. They haven't wrote to me. I'll probably pop down to the office and say, look, you know, you're losing count. But I'll let you know how that goes. That's about it then, Uber Dubers. You keep well, happy driving with Uber, and I'll speak to you next week. Thank you very much. Bye bye now.